So what are your analysts saying about the iron ore price? 120 or less than that?
We've got it less going forward. It actually
less?
holds around that level for this year, and then we have it going down to $80 a tonne when we get into 2015, 16, 17.
Well, these guys will be buggered if it goes to 80, won't it?
Well,
I mean, that's a technical.
That's a technical word.
I think the point around where we differ, I guess, from the idea it can sustain itself at $120 a tonne is a couple of things. The domestic supply inside of China itself is not slowing down. Most of the analyst community...
Yeah, but it's high price though, isn't it, Tim?
It is, and it's less and less economic, but it's not actually slowing down. It's still coming on. The second thing, they've developed a massive scrap market that has surprised just about everyone on the street, and that's come on very, very quickly. So there's an alternative source of supply of steel. And I think the other point is that the inventory cycle that we've seen, it's not going to go back to 2012 type levels. We think it's actually starting to level out about now. We can see that in terms of the way that market pricing is going for steel, and that feeds back.
What do you think of the
iron
iron ore miners?
Well, just listening to Ken, two things struck me. First of all, you asked him about what the price is going to be, and he said he had no idea, which I think is pretty scary for a guy that wants to invest I don't know how many billions of dollars building a train line. And secondly, he talks about demand, but he doesn't talk about supply. I mean, you guys have got 60% increase in supply coming along in the next 5 years. I mean, what's that going to do to the price? So I think there's almost a collective madness amongst these iron ore miners that they just don't get it. I mean, he talks about us talking as noise, but he's not listening, and neither of any of his peers.
Well, he's listening to his customers. That's a bit tough.
But he's not listening to people like Goldman Sachs who are doing detailed analysis of all the supply that's coming along. And he's just ignoring it and says he doesn't know what the price is going to be anyway.
He
wants to build a mine.
I think this is the...
But take an example. Rio Tinto last year produced 237 million tonnes. This year they're heading towards 290. They're considering expanding capacity to 360 million tonnes at a cost of $5 billion. The big Pilbara miners, BHP and Rio, are still in that increasing supply mode, and they're the low-cost guys. Right, so an enormous amount of supply is going to come into this market. I think your guys are saying 200 million tonne surplus by 2015.
Well, to put it in growth rates, we've got global demand growing in the order of about 3.5% over the next couple of years, and we've got supply heading towards 9 to 10%. So we actually think at the moment the market's fairly close to balance, so we tip into oversupply by first half next year.
And at that point, something's going to happen, which means some people are going to have to take the supply out, and they'll be the high-cost guys.